The community has spoken. Our latest trade deadline video has to be on Chicago Cubs outfielder Cody Bellinger. The Cubs have to trade Cody Bellinger as his deal is expiring at the end of the season. Wait, I said that last year about Wilson Contreras and they didn't trade him. They are going to trade Cody Bellinger. Mark my words. They are out of it. Yes, at time of recording, they're 7-8 games out of the division lead. They are out of it. Deals need to be made. The question, where does Cody Bellinger go? Let's take a look. Let's go. Cody Bellinger is so unique in that he can play first base and outfield at above average, borderline gold glove defense, so he's a fit for a lot of teams as a rental. And let's start with the obvious one. It has to be the New York Yankees. Bellinger's left-handed swing would play so well in the Bronx. They need a left fielder. They've got no production this year from the left field spot in New York. So Bellinger is probably the most coveted player by the Yankees at the deadline. And let's use them as an example. What can we expect in a Cody Bellinger trade? Well, when you take a look at it, I did a mock-up trade using the trade value simulator at tradevalues.com. It's not a perfect illustration, but it does give you an idea of what the return might be for the Chicago Cubs. I have a potential deal involving shortstop Troy Sweeney and younger pitcher Brock Selvage. That is kind of the return I'm thinking of in terms of a Yankee trade. I'm not going to do this for each team, but it gives you an idea. I think the potential return for Cody Bellinger is going to be one prospect ranked in a team's top 5 to 10 placement and either one or two prospects in their top 30. Those are typically going to be guys that are in AA ball or lower. I don't expect any of those guys to be in AAA because they'll be a little bit older, and I think the Cubs would want younger guys that they can take a real chance at developing and maybe find lightning in a bottle here. So there's the kind of fit that I think works for teams. A top 5 to 10 prospect, a couple of others in the top 30. That's kind of the return you're looking for in terms of a rental. That's kind of what's been happening in the past as well. So the Yankees, I think this makes a lot of sense for them. It's almost a must-do. In fact, the Yankees, if they want to get back into it, have to find offense somewhere. And left field and third base seem to be the two primary areas they can add offense. So let's see if Cody Bellinger makes his way to the Bronx. If there's one team out there that would like to keep Cody Bellinger out of New York, it would be the Boston Red Sox. And I think Bellinger actually does fit the Red Sox fairly well. They need another impact bat. They are not out of this. They're about 3 games out of the wild card at time of recording. They're going to get some pitching back in Chris Sale. I think there is a chance the Red Sox make a run at this and could use some more offense. Now, is he the best positional fit? No, Bellinger is kind of blocked a little bit in the sense of Tristan Casas at first. The outfield in Boston has been fairly stable this year, but it protects against injuries. It gives you another impact bat. You can mix him through the DH. You can get guys a day off their feet. I think Cody Bellinger would play very well in Boston the rest of the year and create some more offense for that team. They'd probably prefer a right-handed bat, but beggars can't be choosers. You got to take the best bat you can find, and Cody Bellinger makes a lot of sense for me fitting in with the Red Sox the remainder of the season. If it's not the Red Sox, how about another rivalry that's been brewing? How about the Houston Astros acquiring Cody Bellinger? They've been very vocal about stating they would like to find another impact bat for their run the rest of the season, and they could really use a left-handed bat to go with this. So I think Bellinger plays very well. He could fit very well in center field. Once Jordan Alvarez gets back, he slots back in the left. Kyle Tucker in right, and Bellinger in center would make a lot of sense. If you don't want to go that route, you can start to replace at bats of Jose Abreu. Has been abysmal for the Astros this season. It just has not worked out, and Bellinger could play first base for them. Of course, you could always shuffle him through the DH role as well. And Bellinger would fit very well in this Houston lineup. It creates another balance with that left-handed swing going along with Tucker and Alvarez. You combine that with Altuve when he returns and Bregman, and you have the makings of a very potent lineup in Houston. So Bellinger makes a lot of sense. The question is, how many prospects are the Astros willing to deal? Because their farm system has been depleted over the last few years, making so many deals. But you're in it. You got to take a run at it, so I think it makes sense for the Astros as well. One sneaky team in all this could be the Minnesota Twins. The Twins are looking like they're going to win the AL Central. Now, I know they're only a couple games up, and they've been going back and forth with Cleveland, but all the talks are that Cleveland seems like they're going to ship some players out potentially, and it kind of just leaves the Twins there to win the division. They don't have to play very well to win it, but if you're in, you can always get hot. And the thing about the Twins, the difference between them and a lot of teams is pitching. They have excelled with their starting pitching. Their bullpen has been very solid. So they need offense. And if you can get a couple guys to get hot at the right time, you can make a run, a la the Phillies and Padres last season. So where does Bellinger fit here? Well, how about anywhere in the outfield? Alex Kirilloff seems to be locking down first base. He's playing very well. But the Twins could use any kind of offense coming from left and center field. They continue to roll out Max Kepler in right field, who's a solid player but not spectacular. I think the Twins could really make a run at this thing because of that pitching. And if you're willing to part with some assets, Cody Bellinger would make a lot of sense. Bring some power to the lineup, bring some quality defense to the lineup. And the way he's been hitting right now, he's been getting very hot. And if he can carry that through the last couple months of the season and help the Twins get hot, they could go on a bit of a run. We have not seen the best from Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton. If those guys got going, this could be a sneaky, scary team this year. And the last two teams I think that could have interest are battling for the NL Central title. The Cincinnati Reds and the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's start with the Brewers. There is definitely a fit in the outfield for a guy like Cody Bellinger. There is a fit at first base now with Rowdy Tellez injured. The question with the Brewers and Reds is going to be, do the Cubs want to deal within the division? Now, the thing is, Bellinger's a rental, so I think a deal within the division is perfectly fine. And that the Cubs don't have an issue there because they are no guarantee that he's going to stay with the Brewers or Reds. So the Brewers have that fit at first base. They have some fit in the outfield. They've been bringing up some younger prospects to try them out in the outfield and see if they can get any offense out there. If that doesn't work out, Bellinger fits very well for them. On the other flip side, Cincinnati Reds, all of their young prospects they've been bringing up have been infielders. They could use some help in the outfield. TJ Friedl has played very well in center field, but they could use a corner outfielder, replacing Jake Fraley and making him a fourth outfielder, or doing the same with Will Benson and getting him some at-bats at DH would really make sense for the Reds, and Cody Bellinger would be another impact bat there, another left-handed swing for them. That'd be a lot of left-handed swings for them, but when you need offense, this makes sense, and the price tag isn't going to be too high for the Reds and the Brewers because they both have fairly deep farm systems at this time. So I think Bellinger would fit very well there as a rental. Now, the last thing to talk about here, I think this could very much be a trade and re-sign type situation. Bellinger has played so well in Chicago. I think he has to really consider a long-term future with the Cubs. Do I think he re-signs before the deadline? Absolutely not. Do I think he could re-sign in the offseason with the Cubs on a longer-term deal? Yes, absolutely. He seems to have found something in Chicago. He's been playing so well, and he's still a relatively young guy and could sign a longer-term contract here with the Cubs, and he kind of fits their timeline, fits in with their younger prospects, fits that Dansby Swanson type age, and they could really build something in Chicago. So look for the future here. I think the Cubs could re-sign Cody Bellinger in the offseason. We'll have more about that in off-season videos, of course. So when it comes down to it, I think Bellinger is kind of a deal for a top 5 to 10 prospect and a couple other top 30 prospects. I think this makes a lot of sense for any acquiring team. Lots of choice out there. Let's see what the Cubs do at the deadline. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of a 3-up, 3-down video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Comment down below where you think Cody Bellinger is going. Comment what type of video you want to see next. And as always, make sure you go check out the latest video on trade deadline talk on Shohei Ohtani. Till next time, take care everyone.